Shavua Tov, everyone. Welcome to video number 49 in our TillesTells WhatsApp story group. I prepared and adapted this story from several written and oral sources, and that was 24 years ago. I sent it to my email list. In fact, that was the very first story, number one on the list, which this week will be receiving number 1,218. One a week, that's a long time. I also included it in my first book, Saturday Night Full Moon, and I titled it In Defense of Elijah. Rabbi Moshe Alsheich was one of the great sages of Tzefat in the golden age of Tzefat in the 16th century. He was contemporary with Rabbi Yosef Cairo, the author of Shulchan Aruch, and Rabbi Yitzhak Luria, the leader of the kabbalists, and many other great sages who were here at the time and whose names you might be familiar with, not knowing that they are from that same time period in Tzefat. He had his rabbinical ordination from Rabbi Yosef Cairo himself, and he was the head of a large yeshiva. In addition to his accomplishments and prestigiousness in the realm of Torah, he was also quite wealthy and extremely generous. One Saturday night, when he was walking home from shul after the evening prayers, so he passed by the courtyard of a couple that had just completed saying Havdalah, and he heard the husband starting to sing one of the songs in praise of Eliyahu Hanavi, Elijah the prophet. But he didn't get very far into it till his wife interrupted him and bitterly said to him, "Why are you always singing and praising Elijah the prophet? What's he done for you? Our children are hungry. They haven't eaten for days. There's no food in the house. Winter is coming. It's going to be cold. There's no firewood. Where's this Eliyahu Hanavi, Elijah the prophet, that you sing his praises so warmly?" The husband had nothing to respond. And when Rabbi Moshe Alsheich heard this discussion, so he hurried home and he threw a large number of pure gold coins into a bag and ran back to the courtyard. And the door to the house was somewhat slightly ajar. He threw it in as far as he could. There was a loud crash. They went running to see what was going on deep in the house, and he ran off that he shouldn't be identified. He anyway had covered his face with a mask. So you know a mask then also. This large and surprising and anonymous generosity created quite a stir in heaven, and it was decided that Rabbi Moshe Alsheich deserved a great reward. But the Satan, the accusing angel, he stood up and said, "No, it's not such a big deal. He shouldn't have such a great reward until I've been allowed to test him." So it was agreed in the heavenly court that the prosecutor could go down and test him. The following Shabbat, after Kabbalat Shabbat and Mariv, the welcoming Shabbos prayers and the evening prayer on Shabbos night, and as the congregation was leaving to go to their homes, so there was a poor man standing in the back of the shul near the doorway, saying, I'm hungry. Who will feed me? I'm starving. I'm so hungry." And Rabbi Alsheich was quick to volunteer to take the man home with him. And there he fed him a huge amount of food. But the man ate everything, ate it quickly, and insisted, I'm hungry. You said you would feed me." So Rabbi Moshe gave from him some of the food that had been set aside for the Shabbat day meal, but that didn't satisfy the man either. After he gobbled it down, he kept insisting, I'm hungry, I'm starving. And so it went the whole Shabbat. Finally, Moshe told him, "Look, it's Shabbat, there's nothing I can do. There's no way to prepare food. But stay with me Saturday night, and I will make arrangements, and I will feed you until you're satisfied. Be'ezrat Hashem, God willing." So Saturday night, what did he do? He ordered for a cow to be slaughtered, a cow to be purchased and slaughtered. He sent his servants to purchase and arrange for a shochet to slaughter it. And when it was afterwards, when it was cut open, it was seen to be a treif, not kosher. Either an organ was diseased or a bone was broken or whatever. I don't know what the problem was. And so he ordered another cow, which was also slaughtered and opened, and was also turned out to be treif. And so with the third one. And 10 cows, 20 cows, 30 cows, 39 cows were slaughtered, cut opened, declared not kosher. The odds against this are trillions to one, or more, I don't know. More to the point, it cost Rabbi Alsheich an enormous fortune. Even one cow is expensive, 39 cows. But the 40th cow was kosher, and he gave orders to his servants to start preparing it. But when they looked around, the poor ravenous man was gone. Well, this act of generosity and extraordinary hospitality raised an even greater commotion in heaven than the first one. So it was decided that it would be revealed to Rabbi Moshe Alsheich one of the 70 faces of Torah. As Rashi says, the hammer strikes the rock and it splits into 70 pieces. There's 70 possible interpretations of each Torah verse. Some say he was revealed one of the 70 faces of Torah. According to other traditions, these 70 are divided into 4 general categories: peshat, basic meaning, and drasha, meaning, remez, the faresh, the hints, gematrias and things like that, and drasha, drosh, the midrashim, lessons to be drawn from the verse, and sod, the secrets, Kabbalah, Hasidut, and was revealed to Rabbi Moshe, according to this opinion, all of those faces that were relevant to the category of darush, of sermonizing, of drawing lessons from the verses. So the next Shabbat in the morning, when it was time for Rabbi Yosef Cairo, the chief rabbi, to give his sermon, so he saw that the seat of Rabbi Alsheich was still empty. He hadn't arrived in shul yet, and he said, he told the congregation, we have to wait for Rav Moshe. And when Rav Moshe arrived, Rabbi Yosef Cairo told him that he should be the one to say the Torah lesson this day, because it had been revealed to Rabbi Yosef Cairo that Rabbi Moshe Alsheich had suddenly become very great in Torah interpretation. Moshe Alsheich refused, as you might expect. He said he wasn't worthy, but Rabbi Yosef Cairo commanded him with his authority as chief rabbi to do it, and he stood up and spoke, and everybody was amazed by the profundity and the unique creativeness of his presentation. From that day on, he was the official darshan, the official preacher of Tzefat. He gave the lesson every Shabbat day, and many of the sages, the great sages of Tzefat, including the Holy Ari for sure, and Rabbi Yosef Cairo attended his lessons faithfully. That also marks the time that he began to write down his novel interpretations on almost all 24 books of the Tanakh, and they're still being studied with pleasure today. And in recent years, they've been putting out volume after volume of it in English as well.